All right. What's up, everybody? Rymar here. And I just wanted to come out and say this Webflow is not your friend. And neither is Figma, neither is Adobe, neither is Framer, neither are any of these tools that we use, Airtable, Notion, etc. They are not your friends. And you need to kind of keep that in the back of your head because we're entering an era where, like, we're building these large tech communities, and communities always feel good because you're connecting with other users who use the product and you're connecting with the people at these companies. And that feels really good, especially when they shine the spotlight of this big enterprise on you, right? If you get invited to speak on stage, if you get invited to be showcased in one of their videos, if you get invited to like do something interesting as part of their company efforts, that feels great. And as you build relationships with the people that work at these businesses, that feels really good too. And that's a valuable thing. Like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. However, we see this all the time where a company makes a decision to change their pricing model, or their pricing model is predatory, right? Like, we've seen Figma and Adobe and Airtable. They all have duplicative pricing where I have to pay and then you have to pay. And then if you come to my plan, I have to pay for you again. And, there's just, this happens all the time inside of these platforms because, again, their function is to generate revenue, not to be your friend. They are not your friend, right? They are a product. We live in America. This is a capitalist society, and they are here to make money from you and off of you. The reason they have communities is because community is a great way for them to build brand value. And if they have all these people saying great things about their business, then that makes it easier for them to sell into more opportunities. And so we love to get excited because the cool kid on the block and the person leading the charge and the one doing the tutorials, and again, there's a ton of value shared inside of these communities. But nobody's going to come rescue you when like your car breaks down. Nobody's going to pay your bills when you can't, when you lose your job. And as we've seen recently all across the tech industry, they'll lay you off as soon as their bottom line is dependent on it. If they're shaping up to go public, if they're, need to tighten up revenue for a quarter, if the VCs are saying, hey, let's squeeze every penny we can out of these users, they're going to do that. And they're not going to stop and think about your $30 a month or your $50 a month, especially if they're headed towards large enterprise clients and people are paying them tens of thousands of dollars a month, or a year to use the platform. You're just not the target audience anymore. And it's hard to hear, maybe it's not that hard to hear, but some people need a reminder because you see this all the time. You see people get their heart broken. You see, we go out there and we anthropomorphize these companies. We get so comfortable with the people, and I'm guilty as anybody else of doing this, right? For the last 5 years, a lot of my identity has been tied to Webflow and the Webflow community. I think it's an amazing product. I still use the product to this day. I don't discourage anyone from using it. I still sell it to my clients. I think it's a great tool for building websites. I don't like the decisions they've been making recently as it relates to the pricing of their product or the way that they selectively choose which features get access enterprise only versus like the general public. They don't give a fuck about what I think about that, right? Like, they may, if this video gets enough views, they might get, whatever, they might reach out. You've seen it recently with like hosting overages or people being bumped to enterprise accounts, or Vercel recently, people having these astronomical billing charges. And, like, maybe if you speak out and you get enough traction, or if you have a large enough audience, these companies will pay attention to you because it's bad for their PR. But most of this stuff just gets swept under the rug because it's just business as usual. And, like, it's a sad day when folks get let go from a company and they feel like they were betrayed by their family because the company has this culture of, we're a family. Everyone's family here. It's all community, right? And you have this aura, this presentation that they, intend to present one thing. But when, the cards are laid at the table, when the chips are laid down at the table, at the end of the day, it's the bottom line. And if you affect that bottom line in a positive way, you're in the club. If you affect that bottom line in a negative way, you're out of the club. And, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Welcome to business. Welcome to the corporate life. So that's all. That's all I got to say. It's easy to get wrapped up in A lot of this stuff, especially as we build and as we create, as creators, we find a lot of friendships inside of these communities. And I think that's super valuable. I think you should continue to do that. But just remember, the folks that you are friends with, the folks that you interact with, the folks that are on the ground layer here doing the work with you, those are your friends. Maybe. But the companies themselves are not your friends. They couldn't care less about you. Adobe doesn't give a fuck about you, right? Like, we just saw they're getting sued by the state, by the, what is it, Department of Justice or whoever handles that damn shit, for predatory pricing practices and making it difficult for you to cancel your subscription, right? We've seen a number of these over and over throughout the years, and it's going to happen again. So if you're getting real cozy with your favorite tech company and you think like you're part of the family because they put you on stage at an event, or they invited you to some like behind the scenes thing, or they've kind of gotten real cozy with you, take advantage of it while you can, enjoy it, but just understand that at any minute they can sweep that out from under you and it's over. So keep that in mind, make your money, but also start thinking about these things as tools, technology, not family, not your friends. Anyway, public service announcement out. Bye, y'all.